there are far many things in which animals have already, evolved so much, which humans can never. Like, that the smell thing for dogs.
True.
Even now, we cannot make machines which are as effective as dogs and which can, improve with time. If we make a machine, it just stays there with that much strength, but the dog keeps improving with time. We are not even able to make a swarm of flies, let's say a swarm of drones, which we are nowadays trying a lot to make. Even there, I think flapping of the wings is
Mm-hmm.
the main, the pivot point where people have stopped, because it needs a different kind of nanomaterial which has to be very close to skin or to latex or rubber, so that the flapping is very fast and it is very flexible. Like how a blue whale also talks around 20 kilometers beneath the sea with sonar, and no one can hear it because it's ultrasonic. And they can also sing songs for 2 hours. We are also animals who are living for survival. There is actually nothing more than survival instincts which we got as well.
Wow. First of all, thank you so much, Shubham, for joining. I think you
Sure.
are the first guest. We had four other people who filled out the form, but वो आए ही
Okay.
नहीं. एक का schedule हो गया था कल, लेकिन he didn't show up. बाकियों का एक next
Okay.
week है, एक Friday को है, I guess. So it's very exciting.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
हाँ.
I was also going to ask you about what was it going to look up like, कि
Mhm.
क्या concept होगा, and what are we going to, how are you going to proceed? But
Right.
then this is the first, as you said, so yeah,
Yeah, so
we'll see.
technically it's an experimental stage right now. We are trying to see how we can make it better. जो फॉर्म आपने फिल आउट किया था वो भी अभी
Mm-hmm.
चेंज होगा धीरे धीरे, उसमें ऑलरेडी चेंजेस लाए हैं अब. तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि एक किसी लैंडिंग पेज पे किसी वेबसाइट पे ना एक फॉर्म जैसा बना के उसमें कैलेंडर वगैरह इंटीग्रेट करके वो थोड़ा बेटर स्ट्रीमलाइन होगा, क्योंकि मैं
Right.
यहाँ हूँ, मेरा जो फ्रेंड आलोक है, गौरव है, दे बोथ इन इंडिया. तो उनका भी टाइम जोन का थोड़ा सीन पड़ता है, तो वी आर थिंकिंग कि अवेलेबिलिटी ना वहाँ पे अगर स्ट्रीमलाइन हो जाए तो इट विल बी इजियर फॉर पीपल ऑल्सो who are interested
Right.
to join.
Definitely. So, are you also airing this right now? No, right?
So we don't stream at the moment. We tried a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
but we are thinking just to record and then put out,
Yeah.
as a podcast or as just a video. So there are different
Yeah.
playlists on the channel. We are trying to figure out कि कैसे उसको मैनेज करेंगे. मेन आइडिया है कि हमें जो सब्सटेंस है, जो चीज़ है, जो नॉलेज है, जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है,
Mm.
वो इंटरनेट पे आए और हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों से कनेक्ट हों. जो हमें पता है, हमारे एक्सपीरियंसेस है, वो लोगों को पता चले. जो आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं,
Mm.
वो लोगों को पता चले, हमें पता चले. तो मेन आइडिया वही है कि सीखें. चाहे प्रोसेस जैसा भी हो,
Good.
वो आई थिंक थोड़े टाइम में हम अगर करते रहेंगे ये, तो इट विल गेट बेटर.
Yeah,
तो
I think, and also that कि आपने कोई भी boundaries या bounds नहीं लिया है, as in you are not just restricted to consciousness or spirituality per se, but
राइट.
you're also figuring out like what else can we do. So yeah, maybe
राइट.
I can give some inputs there as well.
Yeah, definitely. We would be happy to, get as many feedback, as many, critics, और जो भी आपके आपने देखा है. I don't know for how long you've been following the channel. अभी recently आपने ये हमें
Right.
देखा या?
Right.
Okay.
हाँ हाँ, मैंने कल ही देखा,
Okay.
but मैंने सारी videos देख ली है. Like I
Okay.
got the whole gist of, I
So.
like viewed your whole playlist set,
Mhm.
and all the videos with Alok as well,
Mhm.
and the review videos as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for spending time and checking out
Yeah, man,
videos.
thank you for talking to me,
Oh,
face
of
to
course.
face.
It's a
I
pleasure, man. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't know, this is an experimental thing. We are inviting people to hop on the channel and share knowledge that they have, their experiences. और जो भी है ना स्टोरीज होती हैं वो खुल के यहाँ बता सकते हैं. ये एक स्पेस हमने बनाई है जहाँ पे लोग मिल मिल सकते हैं और बता सकते हैं खुल के कि उन्हें ये लगता है. चाहे जितनी भी डीप चीज़ हो, जैसी भी चीज़ हो वो, इट डज़न्ट मैटर. हम कोई बिलीफ कोई ऐसा नहीं होगा हमारे अंदर कि हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि आपसे यही सुने. इट कैन बी एनी टॉपिक. इट मे नॉट बी जस्ट स्पिरिचुअलिटी रिलेटेड, इट कैन बी एनीथिंग प्रीटी मच. तो आई डोंट नो इफ यू आर अवेयर, अगर आपने पुरानी वीडियोज़ देखी है शुभम, हमारे चैनल का नाम पहले द लाइट एंड कॉन्शियस शो था, एंड वी वर
right with
टोटली
Alok and
फोकसिंग
Jatin.
ऑन. या. So we were totally focusing on spirituality at that time, but then we realized कि bro, there are a lot more things outside of this thing, because spirituality तो एक concept है that talks about the entire thing, entire existence and our experience of that existence. But कॉमेडी पे भी कई बार वी हैव टू अप्रिशिएट कि वो भी एक एस्पेक्ट, और बहुत अच्छा एस्पेक्ट है, उससे हेल्दी रहते हैं लोग, राइट? इट्स प्रूवन।
Right. Humor,
तो
yeah.
yeah, I mean, let's just dive into your background, and you can introduce yourself. I know you're from IIT Roorkee,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned on the email. So please, Shubham, tell us about yourself, so then we can proceed.
Okay. Okay, so I am guessing we have like 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes of time, or we can go
It's up to
more.
you. Totally, it's
Okay,
up to you.
sure,
It's
sure, sure,
flexible. Yeah.
sure. Okay, so I will start from, I was born in Jamshedpur, which is
Okay.
a town in Jharkhand, and it is mainly known for Tata Steel and the
Right.
mines underneath and all the things. So I just saw companies growing up and how the companies are managing the city and
Hmm.
not the government in our case actually. So there was no municipality, but then we saw like clean city due to Tata managing the whole city and making it
Hmm.
more green.
Right.
Since it was an industrial city already, so we were kind of monotonously put into science backgrounds or into MBBS backgrounds.
Hmm.
So there's not much choice, but I had an interest in music, so I also pursued it kind of parallelly. And I
Awesome.
have some videos posted like since 3 to 4 years, which I'm producing music and posting it on Spotify and YouTube.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
If I
and
may
then
ask, sorry to interrupt. What music genre are you into?
okay, we as a
Is there any
band
specific
are
style?
into
Oh, you have a band.
um,
Okay.
yeah, there are like 3 to 4 projects which I'm working on. One is a
Hmm.
Hindi rock project,
Hmm.
which is a Hindi rock band. Second is kind of Sufi and ambient Hindi rock, and one is like
Nice.
Steven Wilson porcupine tree kind of English
Oh, that's
songs.
awesome.
Yeah, so three to
Wow,
four projects. Yeah.
man. I mean, I feel even better now to know your music hobby, so to say, or your
Yeah,
interest. We can talk about this later, because I'm also into
yeah, definitely,
progressive
definitely.
rock and fusion. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So glad to know
Okay.
that. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen your Opeth t-shirt and I have heard you talk about listening to progressive metal and other stuff. Also, I am mostly into blues and jazz mostly because
Hmm.
what friends have pushed me into. Like my friends listen to mostly rock and country and
Hmm.
rock and roll and Jimi Hendrix kind of stuff mostly, or
Nice.
CCR kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So that is where I have played most of my recent years in, and that is where I find like good
It's
music.
awesome. So you play guitars? I see. I think
Yeah,
there's a guitar back there,
yeah, I play
right?
guitars. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good, bro. Were you the one who commented about Opeth on the previous?
No, no, no.
You okay? That was someone else. Okay, he never responded to my comment for some weird reason. I explained everything,
Okay.
but yeah, it's good. I mean, it's very interesting that people who are, especially in science and in logic, in this kind of background where we're dealing with physical stuff, engineering it basically. People in this background, they start to question things out of curiosity कि क्या है ये लाइफ, कि ये
Right,
हम जो हमारा जो एक्सपीरियंस है, मैं जब बचपन में आई थिंक सेकंड थर्ड क्लास में होगा, आई यूज्ड टू आस्क माई सेल्फ कि इज दिस इवन रियल। मेरे को लगता था कि जब
right.
मेरे पेरेंट्स मेरे को मिलते हैं तभी उनकी रियलिटी रियल होती है। मेरे को लगता था अगर वो मेरे को नहीं देख रहे तो वो रियल ही नहीं है। इट वाज वेरी वियर्ड।
Aligned, yeah, yeah. I align there. I align there. So I
वाओ।
think that is totally true. That is something what is like. I think therefore I am kind of concept.
या वाओ, इट्स क्रेजी। और उस टाइम पता भी नहीं था ये इन सारी चीज़ों का, एग्जिस्टेंशियल जो
Right.
क्वेश्चंस होते हैं ना, और एक क्वेस्ट होती है जानने की। नो आइडिया। वो बस ये तो शुक्र है कि मतलब दोस्त वगैरह थे और फैमिली, मतलब मेरे पेरेंट्स काफ़ी सपोर्टिव थे, तो उन्होंने ज़्यादा वैसा नहीं था माहौल, मतलब घर पे जैसा अभी जैसे ये अभय सिंह है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली इनका थोड़ा ख़राब था माहौल घर पे, जैसे वो बताते हैं पेरेंट्स का। तो आई मीन उस तरीके से आई थिंक मेरा काफ़ी ठीक रहा, तो आई एम ग्रेटफुल फॉर दैट, फॉर्चुनेट फॉर दैट। yeah, from there I started questioning things from that time.
Cool.
And then I also was in a band. I played a guitar a little bit back in college. I did my engineering in Chandigarh, graduated in 2018. I did vocals a little bit, but not that much in grunge genre, which I was not at all into at that time. I was totally moved on to Dream Theater, Opeth, Catatonia, and all that stuff. But that was quite an experience. So you said you're from Jamshedpur, and
Mhm.
naturally because of the environment you opted for science, right? That's what's recommended. I mean,
Yeah,
in India, I think
yeah,
it's very general, but I haven't been to Jamshedpur, but I've heard there are lots of manufacturing plants or
yeah.
yeah.
All the smaller or the sub companies which support Tata Steel for the raw material or for the equipments,
Hmm.
all are based around Tata.
Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, जब ये ऐसी एजुकेशन मिलती है तो तब आई थिंक एक ना ट्रिगर मिलता है कि ओके लेट्स गो इवन फर्दर. So please,
Yeah,
tell
certainly.
your experience, how you got into. I don't know if you're into spirituality, or I'm sure you have a quest to know things.
Yeah.
But your main thing, let me share my screen to the viewers. This is what Shubham sent in the form: plants versus animals versus humans. Alok also read it and he said it's very interesting. Unfortunately, he couldn't join क्योंकि उसका ऑफिस होता है अभी सुबह. उसके लिए टाइम वो ठीक नहीं रहा और मेरा कल ऑफिस है तो कल मतलब इंडिया की जो नाइट है उस टाइम मेरा नहीं होना
Right,
था.
I see.
Yeah, you mentioned it's vague how differentiation in general nature, which should be just for explaining to humans, makes them believe humanity is gifted and different from animalism. This also transforms the shape of God as humanly over time. So could you please explain what it is?
Okay. So, how I started is while discussing with people on, let's say, Omegle, or where there are websites where you can talk
Mhm,
to people around the world,
mhm,
and maybe they're just sitting and killing time, but they are intrigued into questions, and I just take them into maybe some of these. So from there, I found out that most of the people do believe that humans have some special power, and they are different from animals. And also the basic differentiation of food, like we have in India as well, for plants and animals, that is
mhm.
always and always there.
Right.
It should be there for energy levels for sure, but then the belief where it comes from, like prana hai ya prana nahi hai, like jaan hai ya nahi hai,
Mhm,
that is like very falsified. In short, if I tell my whole point.
mhm.
And for the second one, how the shape of God has been transformed is how we perceive the world with our vision, or like the human vision is different. And when we are scared, we see scary things which look like
Mhm,
a human figure, but
mhm,
may not be a human figure. It might be a shadow of something passing by, but it generally looks or appears like a human figure, right? Even in our dreams, we are mostly prone to see human figures, even though they are made up.
mhm.
uh, So similarly, I also noticed that multiple animals or insects, they sometimes have 12 pigments in their eyes, or pigments to see 12 colors in their eyes, just like
Mhm.
RGB we have three. And you know
Right.
the
Okay.
the basic differentiation of the colors there is more than humans.
Wow.
So they might be, or they are definitely perceiving a different shape or a different color of every other thing which we can also watch and they can also watch. It's just
Mm.
a radiation which is going and coming back to your eyes,
Mhm.
and or the light which is reflecting there and coming back to your eyes. How
Right.
you get it is how you make the shapes, and how much the light bends defines the shape in some sense. When we hear of red shift or blue shifts or anything, we know that light bends, and the shapes also, if it's a circle, it might become an oval, it might
Right.
become stretched, or it might become. So shapes also alter based on how we are perceiving light, and how we our eyes are taking that in short. I think that is how, if I also see that humans are transformed from chimpanzees, gorillas, and they're on from fishes and from other skeletal animals,
Mhm,
then definitely that image of God or the hope as well has changed. Because love is something which might happen between two snakes or two birds, right? and that is what gives hope. And I see hope and God as connected, kind of like people when they are in hope or when they are in need of something, they bring in the concept of God, and it's a humanly figure for humans, right?
Mm.
We don't know how, early primates or hunters and gatherers would have seen them. They might be seeing them as, like a Sanjay Dutt figure, or a bulky figure, kind of
Mhm.
picking stones. Yeah, in short, it's that.
Wow. That's very, very interesting, deep at the same time, and definitely, makes people question about, what we've been worshipping, or we've been, looking up to for so many years. I saw your comment here, your, this differentiation between
Hmm.
three species or three entities that we have on the planet.
Kingdoms,
The
yeah.
kingdoms, exactly.
Mhm.
There's one thing I had known, because my parents follow certain practice. They follow bhakti yoga, basically. So in that concept, they believe that humans have so-called consciousness, and that's not present in animals. My question there is, how can you prove that it's not present in animals? So that's why I doubt. I don't have blind faith, but I do understand that there is something significant within humans. And just by believing the fact that when they say this, animals are below us, they've always been below us, it's just ignorance. I think we need to I hope there will be a way in future to find out if there is a consciousness, greater or not, in other kingdoms. You gave an example of eye. There are 12
Yeah,
pigments, you said, right?
yeah.
And
The color
humans, we have
pigments, yeah,
three color
yeah,
pigments. Yeah.
yeah,
So there's another interesting thing I've heard about cats or dogs, maybe both, that they have this tendency to see beyond humans. Like they can see souls and stuff. I don't know. Now the soul concept of soul is also a different
yeah,
topic, but there have been lots of recordings where they've caught dogs and cats doing weird stuff in the air, like
yeah.
talking to someone. So that's there. It's very interesting. Another example I had known about, it's of snakes, actually. A nag. You've heard about a story of nagas? You must have heard this guy Praveen Mohan, I think that's his name.
Okay, I don't know the names. Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so this guy did some research and he found that serpents, nagas, snakes, they are
Hmm.
found in every civilization. They're found in every ancient temples, churches, and all those places of worship, and they're everywhere. And so there's a belief that snakes used to be the gods of this planet. They used to be like, uh, you know they're still superior to humans. They have a better sense of perceiving things, and they basically are kind of aliens. For sure, we can't prove anything right now, but I'd like to know,
Yeah,
like, what do you think about that?
yeah. I think here my opinion would be that there should be no question for superiority in this case, as in from animals or to humans, because there are far many things in which animals have already, evolved so much, which humans can never, like, that the smell thing for dogs.
True, true.
Even now we cannot make machines which are as effective as dogs, and which can improve with time. If we make a machine, it just stays there with that much
Right,
strength, but the dog keeps improving with time. And
right.
we are not even able to make a swarm of flies, let's say a swarm of drones, which we are nowadays trying a lot to make. Even there, I think flapping of the wings is
Mm-hmm.
the main, the pivot point where people have stopped, because it needs a different kind of nanomaterial,
Yeah.
which has to be very close to skin or to latex or rubber, so that the flapping is very fast and it is very flexible, and so many other things, I think, like how a blue whale also talks around 20 kilometers beneath the sea with sonar, and no one can hear it because it's ultrasonic.
Mm-hmm.
And they can also sing songs for 2 hours and others. So I think superiority is not a question, it's a question about difference in both of the
Yeah.
kingdoms, or both
Right.
of the species, not even kingdoms, because I kind of see them all as one. That is my like whole point here. So,
Mm.
so I would never compare them as superior over any quality or any size, or even like we have heard that elephants have a huge memory, more
Mhm.
than humans, like 10 times, because their brain is 10 times bigger and all this. So I think superiority, yeah, will not be, in my opinion, it would be just like we are also animals who are living for survival.
Right.
And there is actually nothing more than survival instincts which we got as well.
Wow.
uh, and for the consciousness part, again you mentioned that whether it is present or not present, I would say the presence is 100%, maybe either in Lucy, which is the movie, or maybe in
Mhm.
Shiva, right? uh, it is just 1% for humans, kind of, and maybe 0.7 for elephants and dogs and other animals. So it is still present even in plants, where
Mhm.
I would like to extend it again, right?
Yep.
Because plants are conscious as well to their environment, like you already know the touch me not plants, and
Mhm.
the plants who which are seaweeds and who often have traps, and then a fish comes and then it catches.
Right.
So they have pretty much of consciousness because of their surroundings. I think that is what we are considering as consciousness. And
Mhm. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting. I never thought in this way. Never really paid attention to how, these things work. I mean, I always, had a respect to everything that's on the planet, because there was one awareness that I've also come out from the same soil, from the same
yeah.
thing, basically, right? So there was this sense of belongingness and sense of family, kind of everything is family. Like हमारे उसमें तो कहते ही हैं
Mhm.
कि क्या क्या है वो यार, एक जो पूरे वर्ल्ड के लिए कहते हैं कि सारे जीव एक होते हैं, कुछ इस टाइप का कुछ वो है, मतलब एवरीथिंग इज वन, एवरीथिंग इज फैमिली, लोगों के लिए तो कहते ही हैं और
Hmm.
जीवों के लिए भी।
Right.
तो
Right. If you
एक
want to connect it to
हम्म,
the strategy games of
या
the video which you mentioned, yeah, yeah, I
या
think
या
there also it fits on one of the strategies, right? Maybe it fits in the either in the Advaita or in the next to Advaita one, right?
यू मीन
Or
कश्मीर शेविज्म।
yeah,
हम्म।
yeah. I think there also we see everything as just one or maybe just as zero.
या
Yeah, that is essentially what I'm saying. That there is no versus between plants, animals, and
हम्म
humans. They are practically the same. And there are many, examples relating to, let's say, music or let's say physics, which I have analogous to this same concept, where
हम्म
people think that these are the three pillars, and
हम्म
the three pillars, or generally how many ever pillars there are generally to understand the topic and not to differentiate between them, because all the three pillars would be carrying the same weight and would be balancing at the same time. So
हम्म।
you might have heard that for music it is rhythm, melody, and harmony, right? The three
या
pillars
या
of music. So I was pretty much consistent on that since beginning. Like, yeah, these are the three pillars, and I have to work on my rhythm, on my melody, and then harmony. But then I started learning Hindustani music around 4 years
हम्म
back,
हम्म।
and there the three main things were completely different. Lay, tal,
हम्म।
and one more is something else. Okay,
ओके।
so it is like tempo, the beat, and then the sur, then the notes. And in Western classical, it is the beats. There is no tempo. It is just starts from the beats melody, and
Mhm.
then it's a composition of a melody which is harmony, and then it is just layer over layer.
I see.
And if you also see, you already might be knowing that a melody note or a note, right, like a 5 4
Mhm,
40
mhm,
hertz or something,
mhm, mhm,
is also created by beats when you hit it like very fast, like tak,
mhm.
tak, tak, and then it becomes
Right.
a beat.
I don't know the details. I haven't learned music. I just started playing like random. But I know like what you're saying about the frequency, 440,
Right.
432, the differences.
Right. So if it's just a simple beat or a rhythm to start with, just a
Mhm,
thump maybe,
mhm,
and if you make it very fast, like at 440 hertz, it would sound like a note.
mhm,
It would be an A note, right? And
mhm,
if you have trained your hands to maybe click at two different places and make two sounds, and you can make a chord as well here, right? A and
mhm.
C note as well. Or I don't know what
Okay, that's
I
your
clamp.
iPad or something. You're using an
Yeah,
Apple device, right? They have this.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's okay.
so you can actually make two different tones with rhythm
Mhm,
as well, and you can directly jump into harmony without going into melody. So those pillars or those stages don't make any sense after going forward, after you get a hold of understanding like what is rhythm and how is melody formed, how is a tone formed, or how are chords formed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter because all three will be the same parts of sound, or
Wow.
overlaps of waves. Yeah.
समझ गया। ये बहुत बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है यार, म्यूज़िक से कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं इन चीज़ों को। वाओ! मैंने कभी ऐसे नहीं क्योंकि मेरे को पता नहीं था, आई डिडन्ट नो अबाउट द टेक्निकलिटीज़ ऑफ आई मीन हिंदुस्तानी म्यूज़िक तो छोड़ो, दूसरा वाला जो जनरल म्यूज़िक थ्योरी
Western
होती है,
classical. Yeah.
राइट, वो भी नहीं मैंने सीखा था, तो ज़्यादा नहीं पता है मेरे को, बट या आई मीन द कॉन्ट्रास्ट, द कंपैरिज़न, ये बहुत ही आई ओपनिंग है एक तरह से।
Right. Yeah, and also if you see that just like in Western classical, rhythm, melody, and harmony are same, so are in the Hindustani classical, our lay, tal, and sur are the same in that
हुँ,
sense. And when a raga becomes, it is again the combination of surs which creates the raga at different frequencies, like maybe sa and re. If you're singing it together, you can
हुँ,
think it as singing sa and then re at a different frequency, which comes in the next cycle and intersects with the same.
वाओ!
But then recently, when I googled what are the three pillars of music or what are the pillars of music, if you see,
हुँ,
they have entirely changed, and there is something called creativity and other modern words which have also come into picture.
हुँ, हुँ।
Uh, yeah, let's just check what are those three.
Yeah, you can also share your screen if you want.
So if you see, initially basic elements of music, this was known to us or maybe whole of the human generation. Rhythm, harmony, and melody. These were the three. But then for music education, I think these became the pillars, like how technical you can get, how constructive you can get, and how expressive you can get. These I think are the new kind of
Wow,
accepted pillars for music. That
very
it
interesting.
Yeah, it might not have harmony, just like Indian music doesn't have harmony, but it should have constructiveness and expressiveness, which I think all the three of them are there in all the genres of music.
That's true. Something new learned, guys. Viewers, I don't know how many are watching. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's great, man. Great to have you here. And this concept is really really amazing. It's eye opening for me. I never thought like this. I mean, again, I knew the world is one, everything is one, but this deep, first of all, a description and then understanding of the differences, and then getting out of this belief that we are superior as humans. That was the main thing, right? People still believe they are like the best. They are the evolved ones. In the past, I was seeing a lot of videos related to drones and all. So in America, in US, there have been a lot of reportings of unknown drones or UAPs that are not identified by anyone. And the interesting thing is that they're not detected by radars or any system of that sort. And I was thinking, I just put out a video on my personal Insta channel, that even if there's a possibility of some aliens, some extraterrestrials, that shouldn't be a surprising thing, because there are already lots of species here on the planet. There can be some species outside the planet. What's a big deal? Like, है ना, हमने humans ने इतना ज़्यादा बना रखा होता है कि नहीं हम ही हैं. But I think we should be humble basically, and acknowledge that there are lives out there, and we should respect every life irrespective of their characteristics, their
Yeah,
traits.
or maybe eat them equally, irrespective of.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So true. I just wish, I just hope, everyone on the planet, they do it. They acknowledge this and live like this. It will be a great place, man. The entire world, and it will be
Yeah,
better
totally.
for Mars now, because Elon Musk, and they've got the funding and all now. So it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing yesterday about this. So Elon Musk
Hmm.
is planning to send people to Mars. I think that is his main, kind of
Yep.
goal with all this Falcon and SpaceX thing
Hmm.
going on. So I think the main statement which I have heard from him was why we are trying to do this is so that we are able to make people survive more
Hmm.
with the dangers coming on Earth. Maybe if there is a great flood kind of thing which comes,
Right.
so that there is some colony which is protected on Mars. Or so
Yeah.
it again comes down to survival skills, is what I thought, and that is such an animal instinct.
True.
And
Yeah,
There
very
is
true.
no, yeah, and it is the
See, Elon
biggest
Musk is a
movement.
genius. He's a genius. He has done pretty much everything for humanity. A lot of efforts, a lot of contributions in the humanity, but still, the overall, the main, motive is existential, is
Yeah,
survival, basically.
yeah, it's survival, yeah, of
Wow.
the planet and the species. And yeah, I think the wars between countries and everything is still based on survival instincts, because just how you see Discovery channels, you can always see a tigress, peeing over her circle and marking
Mhm.
her own territory,
Yeah.
so that no others can come and they'll just fight. So that anger and fight has already been there since so long, and has been built into this. So it cannot go away. The only thing humans can proudly say is that for the innovations which they have done,
Yeah.
and that makes them stand apart. But then there would be so many species which are doing so much more innovations, by maybe protecting from rain, or maybe protecting from sunlight
Wow.
in the deserts, or maybe protecting in the snow. They might be
Or
thinking of innovating
even
very soon.
trees, like giving us oxygen. They are the main source, right? Chlorophyll, plants and trees. So that's, if they are not there, we are not there.
Mm,
Even earthworms, bees,
right.
we can't exist without them. It's as simple as that. So I think anyone can understand this basic. I think it's a common
Mhm.
sense. It's not a
Yeah, right.
philosophical thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is common. But then when it goes to religion, um,
Oh yeah.
I think different religions will have different bases of origins, and thus would separate humans from animals, because some would assume that animals were already there when humans were sent to Earth, and thus they are completely godly. And that is a discussion which I have points to argue or debate on, which I already
Hmm.
put forward.
Hmm.
Um, and for the people who, again, based on religion, kind of differentiate between plants and animals, because there is no gray line, or gray area. It's just out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you also align, I think we we both don't have to talk much on this. But from based on the number of people I've talked to, I think 99.9% of the people would, some nowhere come close to what I kind of try to
Hmm.
explain them, that all the three forces are one. But then we should not see humans as more conscious, or more spiritual, or more gifted.
Yeah. I think instead of denying the fact that see, let me put this another way. It's coming from my perspective.
Yeah.
I think plants, animals, since we cannot understand their perception, so we shouldn't speak from their side. We should only speak from our side. And I think we should respect our existence, our we should be grateful for what we have, what we are, this existence, this experience. So we should feel special about it. It's not the same as superiority. It's just special being, a part of this world. So again, it's a concept of Kashmir Shaivism, understanding that it's all one, and still acknowledging the power of manifestation, like creating what we want, how we want, by using our, mind and all. So we should, as humans, we should appreciate this. We should treat it as a gift. In the same way, we should give the similar level of respect to other kingdoms, animal kingdoms, and both flora and fauna. We should not treat ourselves as less than what we are or what we pursue to become.
Hmm.
We should be grateful. And I think that's how, we'll be able to do more for the other kingdoms, and they will also help us along the way.
Right. Right, totally.
Right.
That's a feedback kind of thing. Yeah, chain of helps. Yeah.
It's just a perception, man. And I'm so really glad कि ये हम कर रहे हैं, ये दिमाग में आया कि okay, instead of just recording our reaction, watching videos, and let people watch us, it's a bit monotonous, and a lot of people are doing it already. So what else can we do? How to make this thing different? I don't know, have you seen any other channels who are doing this, who are asking people to join and talk about this stuff? I'm sure there are, but I haven't seen any yet.
Not really. Yeah, not really.
Okay.
I haven't seen any. Yeah.
I've seen live streams, because live streams are all about interaction, and people are
Yeah.
joining, they are
Talking
talking
on.
in chat, and then people are responding to the chat. But here, like in a conversation like this, where we are speaking and discussing about things, that this is, I think, incredible, and it gives me a boost to continue doing this. and I'm so grateful that you found our video and you filled out that form. We are going to improve the process. We want as many people as possible like you, and we can have another discussion about any other topic if you want to discuss anything else. Maybe if you find out any video, anything that we need to check out, so we can collaborate on that as well and talk about that as well. So yeah, do you have any suggestion for the process? Like, I know the form is not good right now, it's very basic. So do you have any suggestion how we can improve it
Yeah,
or
I think
improve the entire process?
the more basic the form it is, the better. And I think the number of fields which you have for input right now are pretty much okay, and
Yeah.
no less or no more should be required. I think it's going great. That's why I wanted to talk to you.
Mhm. Thank you
So
so
I
much,
think it's
man.
going great. Yeah, maybe you can. I have seen channels for ancient, civilizations, or maybe some
Uh-huh.
ancient discoveries. Like there is one channel which is called BAM. I will just share it to you.
Sure.
They do some really interesting discoveries going to other countries, and yeah, and they try to solve the history mystery themselves,
Mm.
right? Because whatever history is written in our books, they don't pretty much believe into it.
Mm-mm.
So they try
Awesome.
to rebuild the history from beginning, and
Wow.
yeah, I
From
think
beginning, you mean since the ice age, or from the ancient
s-
civilizations?
okay, since how much ever they found, or whatever artifacts they have found, and
Okay.
how much ever they dated back to.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, I'll check out this channel.
Yeah,
And I would suggest I'm sure you must have checked it, but there are a couple of
yeah.
podcasts of Praveen Mohan, some with Indian podcasters, some with foreigners. And he talks about history, archaeology, and stuff that's not mentioned in history books, that's not mentioned anywhere else. And it's his own finding. And also outside of India, like in Latin America. I think Peru. He saw something very interesting in Peru. From an aerial view, there's some kind of image that you see on the ground. Only it's
The
only visible when you're quite above the
Are
land.
you talking about the Nazca lines?
Probably. I forgot the name, what it's
Okay,
called,
okay.
but lines.
Yeah, Nazca.
Is it in Peru?
NAZZ. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it then. Yeah, that's it. Um,
Okay.
there are some other lines as well. I think they are different, where important sites they connect with straight lines. So that's another very interesting concept. Oh, do you know what these lines are called? You remember?
The Peru ones?
No. The
Okay,
lines.
the latitude, longitude, the straight lines. No, I don't know what
Yeah.
they're called.
Yeah, so
Um,
viewers, if you don't know, there are very interesting findings. People have connected important places like Pyramid of Giza and some place in Italy that's of high significance, somewhere on the top of a mountain, and they drew lines, and they basically try to connect these sites together, and they found either they are making some shapes, or they are parallel lines, or they are straight lines. So they found some similarities, some parallels between
okay.
various different connections, even
Okay.
pyramids.
Okay, it
Yeah.
might be geometric precisions. What you were talking about? Yeah,
Yeah,
geometric
they're
precision.
very different factors, man. It's not just based on latitudes and longitudes. They also archaeological and the scripts that they found there, like whatever is engraved on the stone. They found connections, and these are, I'm talking India and Latin America. There are similarities in there, and they are quite far if you check the
Right.
map. So this is very interesting. I think there should be more reactions on this, and if you find out, you can hop on. We can connect on Insta. We're just
Okay.
starting out, so
Yeah.
very glad that you joined right in the beginning. And yeah, I think it was a great conversation. It was
Yeah, man.
nice to meet you. And Shubham, thank you so much again for filling out the form. I know we
Yeah,
can
man.
discuss a lot more things, l- a lot more
Definitely. Yeah.
topics. And yeah, do you have anything to add on this, or maybe?
No,
Yes.
not really. I think you guys are doing great, and you guys should just continue doing whatever you are doing.
Perfect. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This was our second podcast with Shubham Singh. It was great speaking with him about plants versus animals versus humans. Please let us know your views on this.
Yeah, I think the people from where you got suggested
Mhm.
is mostly, veritasium, or let's say
Ah,
uh, artism. No, what's that channel?
there's one
Astrum,
Vsauce.
Astrum. Yeah, yeah. There's Vsauce, Astrum.
I know Veritasium, but Astrum, I'm not sure.
Okay, Astrum is a similar one,
Okay.
and there is something like PBS Science or something like that.
Ah, yeah, I've heard that.
Who,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
who
think
are
I've
in
subscribed.
the yeah, they are in the same league, and I just think that since I watched them, I got to you. That's
Oh
how
wow, that's
algorithm works,
awesome.
and yeah,
That's awesome. I mean,
yeah.
I also know being here, this these videos are also being shown to Canadian people, and
Hmm.
I wanted to keep everything in English, but then I realized कि कुछ चीजें हिंदी में ही बात हो तो ठीक है, और मेरा जो दोस्त है ही इज ऑल्सो कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी. मैं भी मेरे को मैं तो हिंदी में भी कंफर्टेबल नहीं हूँ. आई नो. I'll tell you one
हाँ,
thing. For me, languages are not the perfect way to express thoughts. They are one of the
हाँ,
ways,
yeah,
but for me, it's not perfect. That's why I struggle sometimes to find, and to fix that, I'm doing these things. you know,
yeah. I mean, it is just the vocabulary is, I think, what you are saying, but you can anyways express it by any sound.
प्रैक्टिस. तभी मैं बुक्स कलेक्ट कर रहा हूँ, बुक्स पढ़ रहा हूँ, ताकि विद टाइम धीरे धीरे इम्प्रूव हो, क्योंकि शुरू से हमने नहीं बोला है यार ज़्यादा. मैं तो बात ही नहीं करी, इवन हिंदी मेरी हिंदी भी खराब है. That's ridiculous thing to say, but it is what it is, and I'm trying to fix these things one by
Yeah, I
one.
think that is humble of you to say, but yes.
It is a reality, man. But yeah. All right, I think
Sure,
we
man.
will wind up here. Thanks
Yeah,
again, man. It was
yeah,
great.
yeah, sure, man.
So we'll connect on Insta.
Yeah.
Beyond Conscious 7 चैनल
Mhm.
है, उस पे
Yeah,
करते हैं.
definitely, I'll
मेरा
follow you.
जो
Yeah.
हाँ वो है, तो उसमें आई एम थिंकिंग टू मेक मोर चेंजेस, एंड विल कीप इन टच.
Hmm.
ओके.
If you want to do any tech kind of shows, or maybe
हम्म.
some workshop kinds, so I have this thing where I can code and program music, and I can do some
ओके.
shows for 5-10 minutes. If you want to
ओके.
have that concept, you can let me know.
Nice. That's an interesting concept. So
Yeah,
you're a programmer, you're a software
yeah,
engineer. Oh, nice.
yeah,
What are your tech stack? Are you working, or you're in
yeah.
college?
I'm working. Yeah, I'm working.
Okay. What are your main tech stack? I'm also in IT.
Okay.
So
Tech stack would be Golang, Bash.
okay. So you basically develop, or are you in
Yes.
SRE or DevOps
No,
and
no, developer.
developer? Okay. I'm more of in a DevOps thing. So I've worked with developers. I haven't developed apps, but build, or
Mhm.
integrated with
Yeah,
pipelines
man,
and
definitely. Yeah.
monitored and all that stuff. So yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that is possible, because channel is not restricted to one thing.
Yeah.
It's not just about spirituality. Even today, I uploaded one video of Elon Musk. So even politics is there, and even though Elon Musk now is in politics, but pretty much anything we can have on the channel.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
just whenever you have any idea, let me know, and we can do it. If you want to upload anything, you can do it as well. Like if you want to showcase something, feel free to do it. We don't have much people on the channel. I think 600 people are enough. We just want one person to get you know get that hit in the mind, and
Yeah,
they are the
totally.
ones who make the change. So
The black barriers, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, awesome. All right, man.
Sure, man.
So it
Yeah.
was great.
See you soon.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll see you again
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, man.
Yeah.
Have a
Nice
good
to
day.
meet you, Chaitanya.
Nice to meet you as well. Take care, man. Bye bye. All right, so this was our second Beyond Conscious podcast. Our first viewer or subscriber who joined the channel. It was an amazing conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually forgot to mention Shubham's handles. अगर आपने connect करना है तो please description में links हैं. You can connect from there. अगर आप भी interested हैं channel पे आने के लिए, कोई चीज़ share करने के लिए, किसी topic पे बात करने के लिए, please book your time. There's a link in the description, and we'll be happy to have you on the channel. और main idea यही है कि हमने ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों के experiences बाहर लाने हैं internet पे, if they are interested to do it. Audience अभी धीरे धीरे ग्रो कर रही है, एंड I think this is very exciting. अगर कोई feedback भी है तो वो भी आप दे सकते हैं. Please, we are open for pretty much everything. There's already a lot of things that we have learned from the comments. गलतियां काफ़ी ज़्यादा की है, काफ़ी ज़्यादा जो गलत knowledge थी चीज़ों के बारे में, गलत information थी, वो ठीक हुई है. तो I actually want to thank all of you guys who are actually taking time to comment on the videos. This is really helpful. Actually, we go through all the comments, and we really take the feedback. So yes, we hope you keep doing that. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye.